Welcome back to Kaiserpunk, episode number 5. I'll try to get this one a little bit longer than the last one was. It was definitely shorter than what I had aimed for. Anyway, bold strategy here, also a risky strategy because ultimately morale is low. But we need cash. We need cash to flow, and a lot of our money, a lot of our income comes through taxes, meaning we need citizens. So I've just put in our first 2 labor high rises with enough space for 160 additional laborers. We already have a lot of them, and the immigration interest is fairly low right now. So they're only going to trickle in, but it should help us stay on top of, as soon as we add something that requires jobs, they will immediately come in to fill those. And we already have a lot of that. So we're going to take some of these lesser areas, start them back up, which then suddenly, kicks up that immigration interest and hopefully can offset. We're going to start with some of the cheaper things, get them restarted, and hopefully that puts us in position to start making a profit. More of a profit. All right, so we've got a couple things restarted for now. Over time, the population will trick in. I mean, we're still at 0 on this one. We're only up to 31 here, but taxes coming in 1.1k of 3.8. So just got to be careful, balance that out as we grow. My next 2 targets were a ranch and a fishery. Both of those come with less overhead cost and kind of continues the trend of, as long as the laborers are increasing, we should be able to maintain a positive balance and start to build up a little bit in that direction towards being more profitable. But in the meantime, we have a level up available for our town center. It's our first one. We learned the hard way last time by pushing one direction makes enemies. Staying neutral, being more of a pacifist is probably a good thing towards maintaining relations kind of across the board and controlling your own destiny that way. So we're going to take the pacifism. As the finances situation is getting better, that next target was to produce handguns. So as we step back down the ladder on what we need for that, we needed to begin mining iron. And so we have done exactly that, as we now have an iron mine. And that is going to allow us to start making the goods we need. We definitely still have a few industries to get back up and running. Produce ammunition. Okay, well, that's easy enough. We'll just restart that one. That gets those manufacturers back to work and instantly raises the morale back up a bit because there was a lot of unemployed. Just barely turning a profit at the moment, though. Does that mean we can afford to get one more manufacturer's house on the go? I think it does. Knowing that morale was going to be important and it was fairly low at the moment, I went ahead and invested and expanded a little bit. Here is the edge of town now. I'm pushing out away from town a little bit more, not trying to over-centralize things, spread some industries out a little bit. See what that does for us. We do have a negative balance that we're going to have to fix here very quickly, and I think that the first thing we need is just simply more housing. A laborer high-rise will be the first move on that front, and we will do kind of the same format on what I did the last time here, which is make a double. Oh, what am I missing? Ooh, I've gone through all my wood. Connect it up that way. We will also finally connect it up this way. Got to keep that population rolling in, and through that you get the that necessary taxes to offset the costs. We've got to offset that here pretty quickly, but what I have added this time around is a printing press and the paper mill to make the paper necessary so that we can get that up higher and keep those citizens happy. But we're gonna have to really watch out for this one because, for the moment anyway, we have very much not offset the cost just yet. just as we were finally getting that under control. But part of that is we've added the new industries. We have our smelter. We are now producing steel. So with steel, next up for us will be the handguns. I have already started up the lumber mill once again and switched it from plywood to planks or whatever it's called, lumber. And so we have lumber. We are now producing steel. Next up is handguns. But we do not have power. We do not have enough plywood. And we certainly don't have enough cash flowing. But there you go. Things are catching up. We are almost neutral once again. I'd like to get a much healthier positive balance long term and have it, fluctuate up and down from small gains to solid gains instead of positive to negative, because then you're hovering around the same balance and you're having to wait versus you're growing rapidly, or you're at least still growing, so that you can actually build up some reserve cash. There we go, back into the positive as citizens begin to move into these locations. But again, that morale is actually coming up finally, so it is headed the right direction at least. All right, we have a riot, and we are not yet at the level, public service level. I mean, we have a single fire station. Elementary school is unlocked. I'm gonna get one in there soon, but for the moment, this is gonna be a problem. This is going to wreak some havoc, as our manufacturers have abandoned us. The one group that I brought in to keep taxes high, hoping that, hey, I mean, they're a 48. It's climbing. It's not terrible. They're not thrilled, but they really shouldn't be rioting at neutral. I'm not happy, but man, oh man. Next up is produce the handguns. I mean, we're right there. Balance is so much better. Let's get on with it while this is happening, though. So we are going to make our factory, and I'm going to put it along this line here, and we are going to extend that road out into this territory. Okay, they are causing some problems. At least we do have the fire station to put out fires. Okay, they have finished. They've reached our core area. I mean, that's obviously where they're headed, but oh, these guys are rioting too? Really? So we have a second riot coming out of that's a second manufacturer house, and this is a laborer house, so the laborers are rioting as well. Well, balance is increasing quickly. I think I need to take this moment to really start pushing. Oh, that almost fits there. We'll get the elementary school there, except for we need to wait for 20 more plywood. The upkeep is high for this one, but we do have a pretty strong balance. We'll get those buildings repaired up. We're okay. We are surviving this riot just fine. Resource intensive to repair up those. Okay, immigration has come back up. Those manufacturers will begin to recover. But elementary school is definitely the next requirement. And the balance is the best we've seen it in ages. You are not making handguns. My bad. Let's finish some of these food rations, and then we will switch that over instead of taking it when it's, most of the way through a cycle. Handguns will begin production here imminently. Ooh, look at that balance. 22,000. Nice. And we do have enough for the elementary school finally. All right, we've got a lot of laborers now to help with the income, so we're going to restart a few more buildings. Try to get things back up to where we want them to be. There's not much left. Most everything has been restarted already. But there's definitely a few out there still. So I finally have everything restarted. All industries are active. No one is on pause. And we have a positive balance. Not a great positive balance, but that is finally resolved. We are past that point. Laborers are a little bit low. And I think it's time for another fire station. The one there, they'll get to it, but we need to spread this out. We're going to have to build things up too, right? We've got the one elementary school, but if we're going to get to a police station, we've got to start adding in a couple fire stations. Ooh, that will fit. So let's go ahead and squeeze that in right there. Put a fire station right across the street. 2 in town. We are low on power, but part of that is we have a windmill that's on fire right now. We'll get that resolved here shortly, but I do think we are going to need additional power. We want to get into the coal power plant though soon. So there we go. Yeah, see, we're on -6 now with that fire station. It's an expensive one to get into. Upkeep is 1,800, but we do have that to spare. This is going to require manufacturers, so we are going to need another house. But we are going to get this one placed in right over here. You need a depot. We'll bring that in down here, spreading our industries out a little bit. We'll put this one. Our coal power plant is still waiting on coal delivery. That's zinc. I'm wondering where our coal mine is. Did I miss one? Has it not restarted? I do know that I need another manufacturer's house in here, and I do feel like I can cut this road off finally. We will make some side roads for people. There we go. We have what we need again, but still lacking in coal. I have not checked our balance panel in a while. How we do it? There you go. Bread. Bread has none in stock. We need a lot more bread and vegetables. Bread and vegetables. Let's start with that. So even after those changes, it looks like we still have a negative balance when it comes to bread, clothes, newspaper. Yeah, newspaper. And vegetables. So the two we just made inroads on. How much of that is coming down to this one still just getting started? Well, we're producing 20, and we have 2 bread factories, or 2 bakeries. So it looks like we are going to need additional. And one of the ways to get that is going to be increase the cycle, spend a little bit of money to increase the production cycle. That'll help push us higher. We can do the same thing on the other one. Oh, loving that balance is definitely headed the right direction now, and we are pretty low on extra workforce, so this one's still filling up, so we will get additional, but it looks like we can definitely afford to get our next manufacturer's house in. And I have a feeling that the 2 bakeries will not be enough, so we'll go ahead and add in a third. Oh, I don't want to cut off this back area. We want to have access to that, so let's put it in up here. The other thing we haven't gotten into is a brewery or a soup kitchen. We're going to go ahead and do both of those right now. If we, well, as soon as we have the plywood. I think I need to get more wood on the go, as we are coming up really short on our plywood production rate right now, and especially as we switched over to lumber for part of that. Oh, funny that ale comes in right as I've placed the building for the first time. Now let's get that soup kitchen as well, and then let's get the missing water tower. Speaking of water, supply is getting low. Oh no, that's just the rate. Oh, we got a major fire breaking out down here. Our fire stations do travel. They do go outside of their range to get to things, as discovered here. Right, this is well outside of their range, but edge of rage here, they still came down and did what they need to. So it is good to have those fire stations. Anyway, let's check in on a couple of things we have not looked in quite some time. Research and development. In fact, this is the first time we've checked this in this playthrough. Living's already at level 4, agriculture and manufacturing at level 4, utilities has reached level 5, civics at just level 2. So we have got to start pushing civics along. Our fire station will help with that. Maybe a second elementary school will help with that, while transport is already at level 7. As you branch out to get resources, you lay a lot of roads, and it just naturally picks up faster than the others. Morale's at a level 3, military is at a level 3. That has been the focus of late, and I do have some breakthrough bonuses that I could apply to a place like civics. In fact, let's apply that to civics. It brought us up a bit anyway. What it does is it gives you I still have more. There you go. You can see how that one works out. So we pushed almost to level 3 now. That's the one that lags behind, and it really needs a boost early on until you start unlocking things, and then you can get it snowballing. On the finances, those expenses, yes, they're high, but the income is better. We are doing just fine. On the stock, more vegetables needed. More vegetables needed for sure. And the newspapers, I hadn't gotten into that one. Clothing I addressed, and we're still in the red. Fish and flour also just slight negatives for the time being, but only they have stock, and they're only a -1. The clothes definitely a problem though. The newspapers is definitely a problem because we're at 0 and not meeting demand, so we definitely need to do more there. But then the vegetables as well, also at 0. So those will be short-term things we need to address. But looking out at that world map, we are, through trade, discovering the other regions around us and getting closer to understanding, and it looks like the area is all miners, and I think it's time that we start getting ourselves out there, because it's still just an army of 2. I might have 4 units by now, but I have not deployed them, so we're gonna have to get them deployed. I think 4 can handle 2, right? Yes, we do. We have 4 units all ready to deploy. So let's go ahead and deploy our 4 units. It's going to take 1 day for them to deploy into our zone, but from there we can probably, hopefully, make a push into the Great Lakes. This is another thing we waited way too long to get into last time around. Stability is slowly growing. We're at 82%, and what can we do? Well, there's that propaganda bureau. We have enough to do it, though the plywood is limited supply, and there's the thing. There's a lot of plywood for all of this. Let's not do anything yet. I already know that plywood is a problem. It's an industry I want to push into a little bit more, though we are not doing fantastic here. So let's go ahead and add in another. This is all going to be laborers, so we're going to add in more laborers. Let's push this out and connect that road up over here so we have more room to build into. And speaking of build into, we have a depot down here to the south. Yeah, this is a good place for it, I guess. Alright, we already know that it can support 3, so we're going to put in 2 right here, and we'll get 1 more around the corner here. There we go. So 3 more plywood factories is going to really push things up on the plywood production. Suddenly it's going to be up to a plus 40 on a regular basis. And with the new laborers, the offset is definitely a positive balance. Have we gotten it? We do. We have a police station for the first time, but the plywood not there yet. We'll get to that soon enough. But back into that world map. We have a unit active on the map. It's 4. 4 militia units versus 2. Now, attacking is harder than defending, but 4 versus 2, right? We've got them outnumbered 2 to 1. Let's go. Led by Daniel and the 1st Battalion. It's straight 2 to 1 ratio in terms of quality. It's militia for both, so there isn't really any advantage on the defending side. At least numerically, it's balanced. So let's go in for the attack, and there's our little militia units, as we are just post World War I a little bit. Now, see, here's the thing: we do not win. We do not win, but you can see we take minor damage. They took significant damage, so it's going to take us more than one attempt, as we didn't have overwhelming superiority. But here's the thing: we can reinforce 10 recruits and some more handguns and get them back to full strength, where the other group is on the weaker side, and we will wear them down and get there quickly and easily enough. So we're back to full strength, and they will not be full strength here. We have some ammunition, food rations. We can get entrenchment, which would give them all close range damage taken in this region is half. Okay, we're going to apply that, but let's go ahead and attack again. They're half gone. This might be enough to finish them off. So yes, it's a process. It takes time. It's not an instant day one win the battle. But we brought them down, and there you go. Now we are victorious, and for the first time, we have actually managed to engage and take over the Great Lakes. And that suddenly opens things up, doesn't it? Looks like we have a neighbor that is not a minor faction. So we do have two minor factions to the north and west. We have a minor faction to the south. We have more minor factions to the extreme north, but we have encountered a neighbor as... So the Appalachian tribes are in the northeastern Atlantic region here. It's crossover between Canada and the U.S. And yeah, their stability is already on the low side. It's been negative. It's neighboring army. Stability lacking. Oh, there is a connection, apparently. There is a connection point here between the two, or at least naval-wise. I don't think it's land. It's not a land connection. The land connection is definitely here in the Great Lakes. We already have high stability. We are now the owner of this. So we have combat stats here, but the stability's high and increasing. Station army in good state. What about our own? Make sure it's still increasing. Yes, daily bonus. Okay, so stability is rising faster than it was before. We should have 100% fairly soon there. But we have this Great Lakes region now. Ooh, there is upkeep involved. Just keep that in mind. It's for the moment causing us to have a negative balance. But anyway, North Appalachian. There is no garrison. There is no garrison. We could probably take them. Interesting. I don't think we can declare war on them immediately, though. I think that is a process that we're going to have to undertake. But we are hurting their stability slowly. We are just a little bit. And it says hostile. All right, well, back into the city. Here was the problem we encountered. It was minor, but it says firebombing. Says we are neutral between each other. Okay, they are pacifist middle. Right, well, we've had our first neighborly encounter. For one, we've taken territory, but it was minor faction territory. We have that capability of growing more. Let's check in now, because in terms of conquest, we are the first to succeed in any sort of conquest. We are the first to grow. In terms of diplomacy, everybody is level. And on that science side, oh my goodness, we are still ahead. We are still massively ahead. We are leading the way for now. Is this because I turned the AI down by a single level? Or have I figured it out that much better than last time? I'm thinking it's more the first and not the latter, because, you know, I've had my struggles this time. I've had my successes as well, but we are very much struggling on that balance side. We're going to have to get that sorted out here, but we are making some rapid progress at the moment. All right, I have finally unlocked the manufacturer high-rise So we are going to... Ooh, our neighbor not liking us. Just took a -10 on us. I'm happy about that, actually. We want to go to war with them soon. New police station, more housing, just hovering around that positive balance kind of territory. We did add in a new newspaper station, but there's bound to be some negatives. Vegetables being the biggest, so let's go ahead and start with that one. More people, more demand. So completing a temporary mission about placing police stations. Honor and Courage, we have +10 attack of all armies and +10 production of military equipment in the short term. Let's get back out on that world map. Yes, we have these neighbors and there's a thing going on with them. They are already lowering relations with us as they're not happy about our presence nearby, but I can't attack them right now. But what I could do is I could go to the Hudson Lowlands and the Great Plains and then come back. Incorporate a couple more territories. So we are going to head into this zone, which has, whoa, anti-militia, a 225. That is worrying. Let's not. So they have a triple garrison of, yeah, no, we're not going to attack them right now, but the Great Plains looks vulnerable. Yes, we'll take that one. Except not yet, because hold on, there was something I wanted to do. Oh, they're not done. Out of handguns. We are producing handguns, are we not? We don't have enough. We are actively producing handguns. We were going to have 2 more units on the go here pretty soon, but they're not ready. So I guess in the meantime, it's going to just take us a couple of attempts, but we're going to wear these guys down and take some more land. We have a +10 on that attack, right? So it should wear them down a little bit faster. And there you go. We are victorious. But have we conquered? Yes, we have. Okay. It was enough to take the territory. Excellent. And that shows that all the way over to the Rockies is open. Mesa Verde is open. Hiawatha and the Winnipeg territories are all readily conquerable. All right, so we are growing. Finances are very good at the moment. We have plenty of citizens to get into the next industry growth areas, but at the same time, we are trying to balance things out at the moment. So flour has a big negative. Let's go ahead and address that one. And fish. I think we can take that one on the easy way. No, we cannot. We do not have a high enough agricultural level. But we can definitely add in another flour mill. Yeah, and it looks like if we're not getting enough fish, let's make sure we get enough fish. More newspapers, more bread, keeping an eye on that population and that balance, and everything's looking good. The morale's getting higher and higher, 78, 64 now respectively. And we are not getting, so this depot is overloaded. We have as many extra trucks as we can, but what else can we do? We cut down on the workforce, running cost. Yeah, local stock is full. Okay, there's more than one thing we can do here, and that includes helping our transports move faster through town. So we are going to upgrade kind of our main roads here in town. Down here, that's not our first fire down here. Let's go ahead and add in another fire station down in this area. Get everything repaired. We do have a lot going on down there. We just unlocked the record label. We have the elementary already. We also have a clinic. Clinic's going to be a handy one. Let's go ahead and add in a clinic. And there's a good place for it right there. Okay, water. Still positive, but getting into a little bit of trouble. I do have the opportunity to increase the cycle. Alright, so we have 2 more militia units joining in. That's going to give us 6 within the battalion, 1st battalion here. But it's going to take them time to reach. So they are not going to just deploy straight out. They are going to go... there we go. Now hostile. Oh, they've shifted. No, that's the... Hold on. Diplomacy. Yeah, they are actively hostile. They have pushed very strongly in a direction opposite us, but that's fine. I'm happy with a option on declaring war with them sooner rather than later. Speaking of, how are we looking? Yeah, see, they still have 0 defenses. I think we should be moving back over to here. Stability is 100% on that Great Plains. Great Lakes is at 98%, so they're both looking really good. What do we have for upgrades that we could apply? Plywood we suddenly have a ton of. Concrete we don't have, so no outpost. Okay, air base is the most practical, but we for a foreign territory, but we're not going to get that in at the moment. Still waiting on those 2 units to arrive. It'll take 1 day more, so we're going to wait a little bit, but we might go to war with our First Nation and see if we can't wipe them out. Especially before they get military defenses up and running. Alright, always trying to stay on top of balance. We're negative on clothing and grain and newspapers. So let's address the grain and clothing one first. Alright, we're down to a single negative, and that is paper. Meat is about to go negative, though. Clothing is only neutral, and bricks. Sure. Did I not unpause that one? Do I have one thing out there that will get paper produced? Well, with all this balancing things out, we've added in enough new citizens that we have a level up to our town center, our 2nd. Commerce keeps things neutral. If people go to extremes, then okay, fine, we're not going to be friendly, but I think we cover the most ground down the middle. For the moment, though, it probably wouldn't be a terrible thing to go aggressive and get after them, because it looks like we can take them, or at least for now, it feels like we could be a winner of this. So, do we want to go for discipline instead? Sure. We're going to go for discipline instead. Well, we already have lumber. And we have copper. We could start making gramophones and giving more morale boosting, opportunities to our populace. So we'll get that up and running. Plus, we have a very healthy balance at the moment to be able to make that happen. All right, the bricks, they are producing again. I think what's happening is one depot is not covering the whole region. There's difficulties with that, right? We've upgraded some of the road network to help the trucks move around a bit faster, be more efficient, but we are very much not in the happy zone yet. Here, likewise, is a good opportunity to increase that whole road to gravel. Just start kind of picking up the main roads. All right, our army is very much in place. Oh, hold on, we don't want that. Okay, there is still no garrison here with those North American, the Appalachian tribes, and they are already hostile to us. So I think it is time to declare war. And just like that, we are at war with the Appalachian tribe. That easy. And now we can go for it, move in. And that was easy. Multiple achievements there, and we They had no defensive force, so we just marched right on in and conquered. North Appalachian territory is now ours. Now, the stability is definitely lower here, but it is increasing quickly. That is 4 territories in all that we control, and that is a neighboring AI wiped out. To help with stability here, an upgrade we could do is that propaganda bureau. We learned this one the hard way before, right? So we're going to get that constructed, and that'll help build that up. We have learned of some other factions. One less out there now. That's the Siberian tribes. So we have a group in Siberia. We have a group in Australia. We don't know where the others are, but Empire of Spice, you can guess. Magellan's Faithful. Is that Southeast Asia? Or is that going to be Iberian Peninsula? Yugoslav, so Eastern Europe, and Mali, so Africa, meaning nobody else, presumably, is in the Americas, and we're going to have free reign to take the whole of the Americas in the near future. These guys have a garrison we're going to have to overcome. We're going to have more firepower, but the South Appalachian is an easy one to move in on. There's a garrison. Nothing here. Nothing here. There's another garrison there, and there's a garrison there. So we're going to need more firepower to start dealing with those tougher garrisons, but we can absolutely sweep through this terrain. We've got 6 units. We've got 6 units already. So we are growing, but we're going to need more, and I think we're going to need more than just militia. We're going to have to outfit them a little bit more. We can already add in 2 more units, but we will look to add in, a field gun and an infantry tank units to give them something a little bit stronger. They have additional health. They can do more damage. But that's going to take some military advances that we just don't have yet. What do we have here? Electrical parts, global stock limit, global stock limit. Gotcha. Okay. Folks, things are looking very good now. We ended that first episode of this run with a financial complication. That is very much resolved, and now we are growing just about as quickly as we can manage, both within our city and now beyond. We've already conquered 1 enemy, and we seem to have free reign on North America in its entirety, maybe South America as well. So as we proceed, this is looking very much like it could be a winnable run, and I'm almost regretting turning down just a couple of the settings, as last time we got absolutely hammered. This time around, we are bringing the hammer. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.